with some introductions, and as people come in, we'll just have them introduce themselves. I'll go into some background, but Lloyd Banks, I run a company called Banks and Company. We're a public affairs firm. If everyone can just state who you are, who you're affiliated with, and then we'll keep it going to the other items on the agenda.
Akindele Akinyemi here, President, CEO, Global African Business Association. Just here, it's mostly for those who don't know me, lifelong educator, Nigerian American. I was listening to Eric talk about police brutality here in the U.S. We got a situation going on in Nigeria right now that has absolutely spiraled out of control, to the point of where the military gunned down 80 people last night in the dark. They turned the electricity off, turned the security cameras off, and gunned down 80 people down there in Lekki toll gate. So we bringing a lot of awareness about that. Police brutality is a global issue with Black people, especially with Black men.
I'm Bill Luce, immediate past president of the 100 Black Men of Greater Detroit. And we were, of course, the organization that sponsored the Made Men event here in Detroit back a while, with Lloyd and Kai's help. And I'm retired after 36 years with IBM. And as Lloyd says, I'm just kind of active in the community. Just got off of the Boy Scout board about a couple of months ago. Was on the board of a FQAC, Federally Qualified Healthcare Association called Vantage Healthcare. Did that for a while. Just trying to make a difference.
I am Eric Thomas, Chief Storyteller for the city, founder of Saga, marketing, internet shit talker, and guy who likes to argue with a Kindle. That's it. That's all I got. I'm sure something else will pop up.
Twan Murphy. I actually run a company called Critical Connection Group, where we do consulting work, educational work, basically under the auspice of helping connect people to key resources that they're missing, fill those gaps. Currently, through that consulting, I'm actually wearing a hat from the National Office of the NAACP, deployed down to Michigan to coordinate and organize the entire state for this 2020 civic engagement. And sometimes I'm a closet comedian, only when Eric's in the car. Eric Foster's in the car. I haven't rode in the car yet with E.T.
Michael Randall. I currently work for the American Heart Association as Community Impact Director. I spent the majority of my career working in public health. So, Bill, I've definitely worked with several FQHCs like Advantage and the Wellness Plan and whatnot. So there's a connection there. In my off time, I'm a professional videographer, and and when I'm lucky, I can make some money off of it. So that's when I was connected with Lloyd Banks, and Barlow was able to do some work for him. In my respect, I look at the murder of African American males as a public health crisis. It definitely covers a lot of the social determinants in terms of the life expectancy of Black men within the city of Detroit. And now being a resident of the city and having a son that's 2 years old, I'm really happy to be a part of this conversation.
Hey everybody, Eric Foster. I'm glad to be a part of this. With Banks & Company. I'm our group director of strategy and business development, a father, 2 wonderful sons, one deceased, one still alive with us, a Mu Omicron Beta, Fraternity Incorporated, Black and Silver, to the day that I die. How do we connect with the other communities that are going through and dealing with the same sorts of systematic racism, brutality, extrajudicial murder, and strife here in this country, and what's happening in Nigeria, which is frustrating because that's brother on brother, that's Black on Black. It's like, come on. It's bad enough that we're catching it in the US and in Europe and in other places, but at home, come on, guys.
Yeah, I'm Dewan Hightower, preach here and there. I'm working at the polls this year. First time working at the polls, not the first time, but actually working at the polls this year in Wayne. I love to get involved in my community to help one another.
Well, good evening, brothers. Truman Hudson Jr., native Detroiter, community builder, father, lover of my people. Like Eric, I rock a lot of colors and a lot of hats. The hat that I'll put on today is, I guess, Wayne State University. Over at Wayne, I'm responsible for doing research around Black men and cancer. Also engaged in doing work and engaging other underrepresented communities in the College of Education. So my goal is really just to push our people to the next level and do the research and practice to show that we are a powerful group of people and that we can make a change.
First, on one hat, I'm the chair for voter registration education mobilization for Makers Our 5 4th District. And I do that. I see the brothers in the room, with that being said, I also just ran in this primary in Ohio. I was state representative in the 25th House District on the Democratic Party. I'm a central committee for the party, member for the party, elected this year and re-elected this year.
I got introduced to Kai Deli, and what was so powerful about Made Man, and Bill will attest, is that it gave a voice, a positive voice, to African American men. And now, and she recognized and honored us in a way that was amazing across the country in different cities. And so when she asked me to be a part of it, I thought it was, I had been to the other cities. It was just a no-brainer because of the work that they were able to do. And their stats to demonstrate not only did she recognize these men, she also made sure that they donated suits to other young men, that they mentored other young men at schools. It was just an amazing platform. And now Kai Deli and the Made Man Foundation is back. And what they want to do is a 100-day call to action and cover several different issues. And so the issue that we're going to discuss today is around voter education and voter registration. If everyone can repeat after me, I am a made man.
I am
a made man.
Amen.
Involved in my community.
Involved
in
in
my
My
community.
community.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
We're down less than 2 weeks to the general election, which will take place November the 3rd. And right now, across the United States of America, people are voting. I think the last number I saw was close to about 35 million people have already voted, whether that's by absentee ballot or walking into your local clerk's office and casting your ballot. But, one of the things, we still have this this dilemma within our community. I'm talking about Black men, this dilemma. There was a couple of polls that was taken. I think Eric Foster, you can probably back me up with what I'm about to say. A couple of polls that were taken recently, and one of the polls that caught my personal attention was the number of undecided Black men. I'm talking about right here in the state of Michigan. We're not even talking about Georgia or Alabama or Florida. The number of Black men who are undecided in terms of voting. And then when they ask the questions in terms of why they're not voting, they simply don't really know the issues. Know the issues or know what's going on, or they think it's a lesser of two evils and things like that. The most important thing about voter education is to empower our community as one. Why is it important for us as Black men to understand the issues as it pertains to voter education?
To the point of voter education, it's participation so that we get our numbers up, but then it's making the right selection of who's going to respect us and value us, and who can we talk to get policies that impact our community and change the systemic racism that we're dealing with.
All right. Very good. So I guess, the next question I have is, I want to swing this question to Mr. Michael Randall, because he has a young son. And I always tell people, children, our children, they're our future. So, Michael Randall, Why is it important for us to vote as Black men to demonstrate to your child the importance of that to set your child's future?
You have to be involved. You have to be involved civically, and I think that more importantly than voting in the general elections or even the midterms is voting locally and knowing who your local candidates are. I was actually able when I lived in Ypsilanti. I was born and raised in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I was actually able to be involved locally. I sat on the Ypsilanti Planning Commission. I also sat on the Ypsilanti Library Board of Trustees, and those two positions probably impacted the residents of Ypsilanti day to day more than more than any president in terms of just how they would live their lives. And so if you know anything about planning commissions, if you look outside and you see cones on your street, like I have outside, they're doing construction work. A lot of that was voted on by a local planning commission or local road commission. And if you follow, the voting process, and if you follow, who's up for what type of position, a lot of those positions are elected locally. So I just think that just back to Eric's point, it really starts with education and understanding what votes mean. I'm very sad to see a generation of young Black men and young people in general that are completely indifferent to the process. And I think that this narrative of the lesser of the evil, right? And I'm just not going to participate at all. I just think that narrative is extremely damaging because it whitewashes the issue, and oftentimes they're looking at the general election or even the midterm elections, but they're not realizing that within these elections that they're voting on local ballots as well that impact their lives and the lives of their families far more than any president. So it's very important that we educate the next generation, including my son, including all of our children, the importance of voting up and down the ballot and understanding these positions on a local level and how they impact our lives.
Do you feel that traditionally young people don't vote at higher rates, but this is a different type of election? From my perspective, this is a different type of election. Do you think young people are going to turn out to vote in 2 weeks?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think that we are experiencing a self-fulfilling prophecy. We say that young people don't vote, so we don't cater to young people. And young people, in turn, don't respond to it because people don't show up until the very last minute like, hey, young people should vote. And it's really discouraging from young people. We had our candidates. We asked for young people, right? Funny enough, our candidate was like the oldest guy, right? We liked Bernie. We liked Elizabeth. We liked the Green New Deal. We like opportunities to update things. We want to change things. People keep telling us what cannot change. Nothing is working. Everything's on fire. And yet again, they say, we just need some incremental change. Instead of getting the clear out and out racist, we want the clear architect of the crime bill that was out and out racist. And then they say to us, how come you guys aren't turning up? And how come you aren't invigorated by the choices that we forced you to have based upon the systemic nature of the leadership that we have in place? Because we watched them systemically dismantle Bernie Sanders' campaign twice. And then we watched them systemically dismantle any opportunity for anybody like Elizabeth Warren. And we watched them currently sabotage Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who leads most of the stories and all the narratives that we want and all of the political pressure that we're trying to apply. And then we watched Joe Biden get up against a debate against Donald Trump and discredit the Green New Deal and the progressives and the progressive movements and everything we've asked him to do so he could look a little bit more conservative for people who are not going to fucking vote for him. So you've done all this work to appeal to people who do not like you while actively discrediting the people that are saying, hey, could you please throw us a bone so we can at least not feel dirty as we do it? And then you go back out here and you say, I don't think young people care. No, look at the internet. We care. People in the streets, that was us. People out here marching for George Floyd, That's us. Breonna Taylor, you know why Breonna Taylor came back in the news? Us.
Right.
we pushed all those narratives, and not even us, Gen Z. March for Our Lives, all those kids, these are 17, 18-year-olds out here in these streets and on the internet with more followers than NRA. The reason why the NRA got dismantled is because of 19-year-olds. Not because of 65-year-olds who've been telling us what they can't do with the establishment, because 19-year-olds said, you know what, bro? Fuck that. I'm going on the news. I'm tired of people getting shot. We got something to say. And even still, with all of that, people still go to the news and say, well, you know, young people don't vote. They don't care. They're dispassionate. What's all this music about then? What's all this art about? What's all this protesting about? And so what I think our real problem is that we respect youthful bodies. We don't respect youthful voices. We are happy that they said it. We want them to take their souls to the polls to vote for who we told them to. And I think that young people historically have never responded to that. They didn't respond to it in the 60s, right? They didn't respond to it in any revolution. They didn't respond to it in the Egyptian Spring. They're not responding to it in Nigeria. I'm tired for me, I'm tired for my grandparents. You know, it's like Jesus Christ. I haven't been here that long. But some of the folks, like I might be the youngest person on this call, right? Some of the folks, you guys have been fighting for a long time. And we marching for the same stuff y'all was marching for. It ain't even like different. It ain't even like slightly evolved. Just the same march.
In the community, I understand if they just don't vote or they're apathetic. Why not say, you know what, go vote and take all, and you know, keep this same energy and apply pressure to the Biden. If a Biden administration wins, he's up by 10 points, but we've been here before. If we see a Biden administration, why couldn't the strategy just be go vote, but keep that same energy and apply pressure?
We can't all believe in the same thing. Well, how close can we be to having a voice so we can talk to our leaders and say we want real change and we want it now? So that's my addition to everything that's been said.
It was interesting to hear Eric Thomas talk about why perhaps young folks feel disenfranchised, and he's right. They have come to the table with ideas. They have come to the table with different things. On every occasion, we kind of said, nah, not now. And I mean, not to kind of change the subject, but I was struck by obviously three, you know, current day hip hop artists who have placed their names into the political arena to get involved. Specifically, Eric's boy Ice Cube, Diddy, and then of course the best one to me was 50 Cent. Right? Brother makes a few dollars and then goes, nah, I can't vote for him. He wants to tax my money, right? Mm-hmm. And but I mean, look, I think Cube had some interesting points. I'm not sure what Diddy was doing, but my whole thing was timing, right? And unfortunately, their message, I think, is going to be received by some young cats as saying, oh, it doesn't matter. We can just wait, right? Mm-hmm. And that's my biggest fear. I didn't disagree with what they said. It's just the timing and the effect it might have.
Right. Half of the fathers teach our young men the ability and what responsibility is to vote.
So we got to do a better job of engaging instead of telling somebody, talking at them or to them, but talking with them, and then taking all of these coalitions, picking something that we can move the needle and have a win. It's just like sports. When you get that first win, then you can get that second win. Okay, we're moving to something, but our defense might still be bad. Our special teams might still be bad, but the offense is clicking.
Really, it's taking it to the people, as some of us are already doing in these particular areas where if you follow the census track compared to the voting track, you notice it's the same people that's not doing nothing, if you will. When I say not doing nothing, I mean not getting out and voting. A lot of this grassroots stuff that we're doing is working. It's ramping up the participation because you really got to get to them and have those one-on-one conversations with them, especially our elected officials. We sometimes get up at the top, and the staff and everybody is the ones who are out here doing the groundwork, but they want to see us. They want to see who the elected officials are. They want to touch them. They want to know that you're tangible, they can communicate with you, and that you care. So we really need to express that we care, that we're taking their voice and thoughts and concerns into consideration, and then showing them how we're going to make it work when we get out here in the community and do what needs to be done.
Well, what I suggest is that we do phone banking and encourage people each and every day to make sure they get out and vote, because this vote is so important to the residents, and not only just to the residents, but out through this country. because a lot of us sometimes we don't do what we're supposed to do, but we need to be reaching out to our friends and family and to let them know to make sure they get out and vote.